Welcome into the Players Club, presented by Pepsi. The Players Club is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. And in part by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection. Now for your hosts, London Fletcher, Santana Moss, and Sean Sprague.
Welcome to another edition of the Players Club. Your boy is back in the building, man.
He's back.
Missed you, man. We missed you, brother.
Hey, I missed y'all too, man.
I was waiting on you.
Specialism back in the building,
Hey.
bro. Get rid of Smoot.
I couldn't take, man. Spoon was in there chopping it up and sitting in my chair. I hit Ryan up say, Ryan, I got to come back.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
Smooth said he was just warming it up for you a little bit.
Oh, man. It feels so good to be back
Nah,
here.
man, we happy to
Man,
have
the
you,
guys are rolling. It's been one of the bright spots, just been watching the way the team has played.
Uh-huh.
Getting these dubs, 3 dubs in a row, and we're going to kick this session off with dubs of the week.
Yep.
Who is your dub of the week, Tanner?
Honestly, I think when you hear us talk about dubs of the week, you immediately think, hey, we talking about the players. Well, what player stood out? You know what I mean? What guy that had an exceptional game, you know, and rightfully so, we could talk about a lot of them. You know, It's a lot of guys on all three phases of the ball game that we can talk about. But I'm going to have to tip my hat off to this guy because I think he deserves it more than anything because a lot of folks have their mixed views about him. And I feel like, you know, even us as analysts, as former players, you want to really see who is he.
Yeah.
And it's Cliff Kingsbury. I think he's a guy that he's my age, so I'm always going to give anybody the respect that you can do it at this level, you know, on any level at our age because I feel like he's been coaching way beyond, you know, way before he became where we at today, you know, but at a high level, you know what I mean? Doing it at a high level. And one thing that was special about it, man, not only what we did on that Monday night game in Cincinnati offensively, but he carried over and went to Arizona, knowing he was going back to a place where he once considered home. Not sure if
he circled that.
I'm not sure
it on the calendar.
I saw the
show on his refrigerator.
I saw the energy of how he walked into the stadium with the little bop. I said, you know what? That was the same bop I saw Monday night on the sideline when he. You know, when those guys are talking about he got a, college offense.
College offense, yeah.
I said, that was that same energy I saw.
Yeah.
I saw a transfer. Now he getting off the bus, and he brought that to Arizona. But, no, I think I got to give him, you know, my dub of the week just primarily for how it was like in a timely fashion. I think the ball, the way we executed each and every play on that game up there in Arizona, it was just like, man, Cliff was in his bag, bro. He couldn't miss.
He was sharp.
And not only to say he couldn't miss the guys, you know, the guys who was out there executing the plays for him, they was spot on. And that's one of the things people take for granted. You know, we play a game where you think it's all about us.
Yeah.
But it's all about them putting us in position. Right. See what I'm saying? And I think that's what Cliff has done that stood out more than anything. Hey, we gonna be ecstatic and we gonna rant and rave about what we've been seeing from Jaden because he is the guy that's out there executing these plays. But you got to think about what Cliff is doing to set him up.
Yeah.
Putting him in situations where, look, I'm not finna allow you to think more than you have to. It's either gonna be here or it's gonna be there, and then you go be special because if it ain't there at all. And I think you saw that time and time again in the game when these guys had our number. Had us, you know, dead to rights.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't, no one was open. Now it's time to be special, Jaden. And I think it's a credit to Cliff allowing him to know that it's gonna be a time for you to do this, but you do it when you don't have nothing else.
Yeah.
And so that's why I give Cliff my, my dub of the week.
I'm gonna segue off that. My dub of the week goes to Terry.
Yeah.
Now we talked about a guy, and everybody's been talking. He hadn't had a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when is he gonna make a big play? And Cincinnati, man, and you talk about timely fashion, right timing, Cliff putting guys in the right place, in the right place, but more importantly, trusting in guys.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting Terry.
Yeah. Trusting Terry.
Say, hey,
throw me that go.
Throw me that go ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to double move him, throw and go. Cincinnati made the catch, and the emotion that came out of Terry on the sideline, how he was pumped up, because, you know, we always talk about he leads by his actions, not by his words.
Yeah.
And I was just, just impressed with him that it was just like his time in a big moment. When he asked for it and he called for it, he got it. And that led into the Cardinal game.
Yeah.
You talk about going on the road, you know, supporting Cliff. You made some plays there. So Terry's my win of the week, man, and I'm just proud of the dude, man.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about you know, what he's been patient and what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, speaking of Terry, before you get to yours, London, I love to say, like, you know, what's more special to me just to see those moments happen, because one, when everybody was ranting and raving about him not getting the ball, I was like, man, as a receiver, I was one of those guys. I allowed the game to flow to me. London asked me plenty of times, tell me why you wasn't a diva, because being a diva didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that was finna go out there talking about something, even when it came to talking trash. Like if somebody said, I'm gonna lock you up, tell them, all right, we have to see. Right. I'm not finna get back into that whole that pissing contest, because I don't want, that ain't my game. It don't work for me. And I think when I've been watching Terry for the last 6 years, that's how he's approached this game. He doesn't go out there, you know, fussing and, you know, chirping at the bit about what he needs and how he's going to do it. He just allow it to flow. Yeah. And so, speaking of that Cincinnati game that you spoke of, we didn't get a chance to chat about it. After the game on the sideline, you know, we doing our post-game show there, me, B-Mensch, and BC. ESPN had Terry, prime time. He had to be the guy that they talked to. I'm pretty sure Jay had his share, you know, had his chance to talk to ESPN as well. But Terry left from over there and gave me the biggest hug, sweaty hug too, because he was still soaking wet from the game.
Right.
I just took it, man. Yeah, you know me,
always fresh.
I was like, man, guess what? I'm gonna have to take this right now, because you know that's Terry. Man, I respect that. It felt good too, because I'm like, damn, he shared that with me, because I know how that moment is.
Respect,
you know what I'm saying? That respect.
What's that moment you talking about?
And he was just like, bro, they could cancel Christmas now. They believe I can get that man on man, and I can dominate. And when I heard him say it, it was almost like, that's how we feel. That's what we thinking. Like, as receivers, we saying to ourselves, man, when you see us go out there and make a play like that against that particular coverage, and he called it and asked for it, now these coaches going to always, you know, favor him in them situations, and they understand that he can go out there and execute at a high level with doing so. So that was to me, I think it was fantastic that just to have that experience with him and just to see it now carry over, you know, to Arizona again.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go to the defensive side for my dub of the weekend. I know the defense, you know, didn't play like lights out, lights out, but they did they made some great plays. In particular, there was a sequence. The score was 14-7. Okay. Arizona was driving. Mm-hmm. 4th and 1. They're in, you know, what you consider probably field goal range. Mm-hmm. They opt to go for it. And we get a sack. Dorrance Armstrong get a sack on 4th and 1. It's 14-7 right before the half. The next time the Arizona Cardinals got the football, they were down 24-7. You hold them, we get a field goal right before the half, 17-7. Come out of halftime, score another touchdown, 24-7. So that sequence where Dorrance Armstrong gets a sack, and the reason he was able to get that sack, because the coverage, the defense of look that they gave to Kyler Murray, he had to hold on to the football, and that allowed Dorrance Armstrong to get that sack. And defensively, I thought the defensive front in particular, you felt their pass rush. You felt their presence in the ball game, getting 4 sacks. Linebackers were outstanding, man. Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, they were out there running around, flying, jumping off the screen with the play.
And going to that game with a Kyler Murray that we were worried about scrambling and doing his thing.
And he didn't
do much.
He didn't hurt us doing those types of things.
Speaking of that play too, man, that you talked about, that's one of my favorite plays of the week. That was one of my favorite plays that I saw from my defense, primarily because, like, you know how this game is, man. It's a copycat league. Each and every week, there's going to be a team that has executed something. The next team is going to say, we're going to use that. And you think about it. Now, when we played Tampa, they ran those shallow crosses. They got in those bunches. They did so much out of those tight splits. Then you go into the Giants. It was 3rd and long early. They got in that tight split. Neighbors hit the first down on the shallow cross. That play that he got that 4th and 1, the guy zipped in, got into a bunch, and ran that shallow cross. You saw Bobby pick him up, and now he don't have his first read. We wait for his second read, which he should have threw it, and it was too late because Igbenogany came out and knocked it down. But that was all a cover sack. It was just great to me to see these guys, I guess you can say, capitalize off of something that they had got, you know, that hindered them the first 2 weeks. You know
Not
what I'm
only
saying?
that, it was a sequel. It was a play in say the same sack where they go from a bunch to a motion. They were gonna play man to man initially.
Yep.
They motion the pre-snap communication. It was Mikey Sanders still kind of leading the charge, calling, "Hey, we're changing. We're going from this man cover to a zone." They could play a cover two.
They play the cover two and dropped on them.
Yeah, cover two, and all of a sudden forces Murray to hold that football, and he's getting hit. Man, that's next level type of defense that was on display there. That's why I got to get the defense my dub of the week.
That's why we got you back, though. We need somebody who can make adjustments.
You don't went to the dark side.
Hey, Smoot don't make no adjustments, man. Come on, man.
Well, all right, fellas, man. You know what time it is. It's time for Drive Time.
Yeah, man.
Drive Time is presented by Eastern Automotive Group. Any car, any way, for everyone since 1988. You know, I had to say that a little bit. I had to put that little thing in there,
Eastern
man,
Motors.
before we get going. Well, you know, in Drive Time, man, we're going to talk about the biggest Commanders news, the biggest news going around in Commanders. I guess you can call country. Commanders country. It sounds good, right? Commanders
I like
country.
that. I like that.
Commanders country.
I like that, man.
All right, so first on the list, let's talk about Mr. Jaden Daniels himself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, y'all know how it is, bro. One of the things, what y'all been seeing the most about on the news, just ESPN, you name it.
Everybody jumping on the bandwagon, bro.
God.
Hey, listen.
Oh, my goodness.
But you got to admit, when you see the names, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and he has the highest completion percentage through the first 4 games in the history of the league, not just for rookies. And you're associated with those names when they're showing that on Sunday Night Football.
Comes the territory,
he's on the big screen. Come on, man. That's big news, man. That's big news. And that's saying a lot with the college offense.
So just to get back at it, you know, Jaden Daniels was named one of Tom Brady's top 3 stars of the week. You know what I mean? His Jaden Daniels had the highest completion percentage of any QB in their first 4 years. I mean, no, my bad. In their first 4 games ever. Like, so 82.1%.
Oh my God.
He's leading some of the best of the best.
That's better than your free throw. That's better than your free throw percentage.
But I hit mine when they counted. I was like Shaq. I made it when they count.
But I'm saying, how y'all feel about? I mean, is that something that, you know, we talked about on one of our other podcasts, man? Is some of the things that we've been seeing from Jaden, is this sustainable? Like, is this something that you can see that him accomplishing over and over and over, and like how, you know, Beast Mode say over and over again? How y'all feel about some of the things y'all have seen from this guy?
Well, you look at him, he's was an extremely accurate quarterback coming out of college. And he's even more accurate in the pros. And some of the things, it's not like he's just throwing, 5-yard routes, dinking and dunking, or 1-yard go now routes and things like that. He's taking shots down the field. He's in shots. He's making throws on the run, moving. I think whether completion percentage remains the same. I mean, 82%. That's ridiculous. It's unheard of.
It's gonna come down a little bit.
So it'll come down, but even with the precision, the completion percentage will come down, but he's going to get better.
Yes,
because even watching that game against the Arizona Cardinals, he left a couple plays out there in the passing game, and he'll go back, he'll look at it, and I think he even mentioned that in some of the post-game interviews, and even since then, like where, it was still like we were not a finished product, left some things out there. Because there's some times where maybe, I can hold here just a tad bit second and throw this, make this completion, things like that, make this throw. What I love about him is his ability to process so quickly. There was a couple times where I saw him processing as he was in his drop back. So he's going through his progression, like going 1 to 2, even as he's dropping back. He didn't wait to get to his top of his drop to go from 1 to 2 to 3. And he does that, extremely well. But when you can do it as you're dropping back and you can kind of eliminate certain
What made you say you saw that? What did you see? Like because it seemed like you was locked in on that. How'd you know?
So I went back and I watched the All 22.
All 22,
And so with the All 22, you get to see the end zone copies of it. You see the sideline copies. The TV copy is not going to give you all that.
Right.
But when you go back and you watch the coaches film, the All 22, and you can see it's just showing you basically tackle to tackle.
Right.
You can see him as he's still in his progression, and or still in his drop back.
Yeah.
He's looking and he's eliminating guys already. Now when he gets it out, he's getting that ball out, and I think he's getting the ball out faster than anybody in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because of things like that.
part.
But there's also a play where he goes from, going from 1 to 2 at the top of his route, and all of a sudden he comes and he hits Luke McCaffrey on that throw, and that's his third read.
Mm-hmm.
Heck of a throw.
Heck of a throw.
Yeah, heck of a throw. So when you
heck of a throw and catch. To even trust a young Luke. And it was something about what Luke did there. It brought me back to the Cincinnati game too, because we had Luke on there and we talked to him in the post game. And I asked him about how does it feel to be out here young and kind of having the experience. And he was like, bro, you know what? He says so many young guys out there that's doing it at the same time. We all living it together. So we having that experience. We sharing that experience together amongst each other. So it was great to see that play, just knowing what he said to me a week ago. You know what I'm saying?
So it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Will it stay at 80%?
Which we know that much.
I had an old ball coach, a guy named Mike Holmgren. Most people know him because he had Brett Favre and some guys. And Coach Holmgren used to say, I need to see a quarterback for 56 games before I believe he's a really good quarterback in the league.
56 games?
Yeah, man, that's
56?
like 3 years.
Why 56?
I think it was like 3.5 years.
Give me a
doing 16-game season.
Yeah. Right. That's
that's
3 years.
That's three and a half years.
Like 3 years. Like he wants to see him for the first 3 years.
Okay.
Now we're starting to see guys, and we can all say C.J. Stroud was that guy last year who came in the league and looked like at one time, like, man, this guy was on pace for being offensive player of the year, was great. These quarterbacks are coming into the league right now.
They seasoned.
Ready to go. Jaden, what I see is, it might go down, and London said he's getting better, but it's just, you can't teach poise.
Yeah, can't teach that.
How about the throw to Zach Ertz? In the back of the end zone.
2-point conversion.
Two-point conversion.
Yeah.
Anticipation. He was on the right side of, from Jaden's perspective, he's on the right side of the defender. Defender has the back. He throws it, and knowing that window was going to be open for Zerk. Yeah. Like, you throwing in windows, tight windows. Like you said, a lot of his completions aren't just dink and dunks.
Right.
He's throwing down a field. Deep comeback.
He's actually on one too. So I mean, after having that success, he's riding that wave.
Yeah,
he's on one. So
when you see that type of poise and what you're talking about reading and you're dropping stuff like that and stuff, man, that kid's special.
So
man.
basically,
he's gonna go down, but he's it.
So basically, we all agree it's sustainable to see the play. You know, his style of play, the team style of play. It only could get better. But as far as the completion percentage, that's something that just rare. You know what I mean? That's we're not even looking for those numbers each and every week. That's something that just happens. You know
about this, and we can switch topic. But think about how as we had each one of us got more seasoned.
Yeah.
The more games we got under our belt.
Yep.
Where there might have been games where you had better numbers, but because we gained more knowledge, more experience, we became better football players. That's what's going to happen to him.
Bingo.
With the more games he plays.
All right, staying on Jaden, how cool was it, man? Just a day ago, we was over here, me and Smoot seen one of our old 2001 draft mates. Mike Vick came over to have a sit down with him, man. Mike Vick and him changed.
You didn't bring him in the Players Club.
Well, he said he want to be on the podcast. He said he want to be on. He said call him, and he want to come and share. So maybe we're gonna get him here or the command center part, wherever it's gonna be at. He said he down.
He need to be on here.
We can put him on the part. We can put him on the Players. Since it's the Players Club, I'll make sure I try to get him on here. But him and Jaden got a chance to exchange jerseys, and Doug Williams, Mr. Doug, that Mike called him Mr. Doug. He actually shared a picture that he took with all three of those guys. Those guys had their jersey up
too.
So that's dope, man. Just to see I guess you could say the generations, of ball. You know what I mean? Far as you got Doug there being the first African American quarterback to ever start and win a Super Bowl. You got Mike Vick. He's like our AI of quarterbacks that changed the game.
Is Mike the first minority quarterback to be the first overall pick? Or we had one before?
Warren Moon.
Was Warren Moon the first pick? No, Warren.
No. Warren Moon the first overall.
Was he even though he went to the CFL?
No, he went to CFL.
Oh, you're right.
So Mike might be the first.
No, I don't think he was the first. Somebody before Mike.
What was James Harrison? James Harrison won the.
Yeah,
Well,
He might have been the first black star.
We have to ask Matty to look that up.
We're going to have to look at that.
Matty, fact check that for us. We'll come back to that.
I will say this. Mike Vick, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah. He's what the league looking for right now.
Oh, man. This dude was the fastest man on the field, and he had the football in his hands every single time.
Yeah.
Running. I had to spy him a game. That was the first time, like, you talking about matchup. Quick Mike Vick story. You talking about matchup.
Well, I'm surprised you played that game.
It was on national TV.
How'd that go for you, Blue?
If it wasn't prime time, you weren't playing?
If it's prime time, if it was a big matchup, Blue was going to show off for that. Hey, listen, anytime there's a moment to be seen, I'm going to be seen. So don't you worry about that. That was easy. For me, it's like checking the receiver.
I was really pulling your leg. I ain't know what went on the defensive side of the ball. I was just going off of what guys told me.
You know what it was like? It was like checking Joy Galloway. Very similar. 4-1. Joy, I went to school with Joy. Joe was, Mike could run, man.
Man, 0 to 60 though. Mike Vick, when he decided to run that football, he can go from standing up to.
He was definitely Sonic the Hedgehog.
But man, just the respect. Think about this. Jaden has the ability to talk to Doug Williams anytime he wants to.
Yeah.
And the people around here in Washington, they appreciate and know what Doug accomplished. Him being the first African American to start in the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl, and then also be the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
And having him as a resource, and you can tell the respect that they have for one another. So that's just that's to see that picture. That's an iconic picture. Hopefully, we'll look at that picture 20 years down the road, like, man,
that was special.
Those are some legends.
Yeah.
All right, I got something right here, man, for y'all. We got Santana Moss, man. Santana, he's gonna be the legend of the game at this weekend's game against the Cleveland Browns. Santana, what does that mean to you to be recognized for your accomplishments for the burgundy and gold?
I mean, honestly, man, to be real with you, I'm regular degular. I'm appreciative, to say the least. I just feel like, we all have one goal when we play this game. One, we want to live out a childhood dream. That was my first and foremost. Then when I got here, I'm like, all right, I arrived. What else? I wanted to be remembered when I left the game and appreciated by the fans and my peers, who I played the game with, or played the game for. And then I just wanted to, more than anything, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that, we get after we play well. But when I started hearing about the Pro Bowls, I tried my hardest to make one every year. Wasn't always, fortunate. And then I just said, man, may I be one of them guys. If I'm not a Hall of Famer, may I be recognized as one of the best for my franchise, and I think that's one of the things that, stand tall with me.
So I'm glad you mentioned it. You're a humble dude. And when I look at you, and for a lot of fans, especially within the last generation of Washington fans, you were their hero. Yeah. You were the best player that they saw during that 10-year time frame that you were here.
Even with me on the team.
Yeah,
you ain't played enough games.
Keep going. That's what
your name.
Knock on the window. You're gonna keep you over there.
Your name needs to be up on the Ring of Fame.
Yeah,
I no disrespect to anybody else. It's gonna happen. Yeah. I would like it to happen sooner rather than later, because every time, like, Cowboy Killer.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And we changed that. Remember,
he's a Giants killer. He's a Giant Slayer and he's a Cowboy Killer.
Okay.
So he's got two division opponents. Yeah. But just the fact of what he was able to accomplish in the burgundy and gold.
Yeah.
He's gonna go up in the Ring of Fame.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna make it my business to be on that committee.
Come on, man, I'm with you.
I'm be on that committee.
We can put that on the players club.
We did it. I don't know. I'm sure there's some other guys who've played here who have retired.
I feel like when I do go, it'd probably be me, Porters, and Cooley together. Because, like, you think about the three, like, we know how everybody have their triplets.
Yeah. No, we going to give you –
No, I feel you.
You're being humble. We giving you your moment. I ain't worried about them. We giving you your moment.
CP's what, second all time in rushing here.
But we gonna talk about his moment. He want to include people.
I wouldn't be if they did that.
Yeah.
Because Cooley was a baller here too.
Yeah, he was.
I feel
All
like
three, and they were in
that
that
10-year span, we was all together.
Sure, but we talking about
you,
you, Tanner, man.
Yeah,
Look,
all
let's
right.
give you your moment,
All right,
man.
well, toot my horn
Let's give you
then,
your
player.
flowers,
Go
man.
ahead and toot
We
my
ain't worried
horn.
about nobody.
Put the horns in the air.
Yeah,
But I appreciate it
Yeah.
though, man. And I think, just looking at it, we talking about the game that we're playing. That particular game, the Browns. I've had some big moments against the Browns.
You
so
had some nice memories
my
against
first
the Browns.
my first ever punt return in the league was against the Browns,
Nice.
and that's what
We're
I was
going
brought
down
into this
memory lane.
league.
Let's talk
You know what I'm
memories
saying? Like I was brought into this league by the Jets to be a punt returner,
Yeah.
and to say the least, my head coach that told me that I had no choice in college but to run punts back. It wasn't an option. Was the head coach for the Browns when I did it.
I need you to talk to Steele. Steele ain't be. They want him to return punts.
Tell him that was the best thing
I
I've
told
ever. That was
him,
the
man, you
best
need to
thing
touch
I
that ball
ever
as much
done,
as
bro.
possible.
That was the best thing I ever done for my career because if you think about it, just like how I got into college, people fail to realize like I quit track my sophomore year in high school.
Yeah.
And that head coach in high school told me, you need to get back on the track.
Right.
And the year I get back on the track, we won state as a team, and I won individual state in two things, triple jump and long jump. So, like, it's always a coach there that's telling you that what's best, and to have that in your life, that's special. And for me to be, I guess, the guy who I was at the University of Miami, if it wasn't for punt, I probably wouldn't be him.
Right.
If it wasn't for punt return, I probably wouldn't have been that guy because offensively, we had too many other weapons. You know what I mean? So, just to get to what we're talking about, man, the Browns,
You asked your Browns memory. What's your Browns memory? Is that your Browns? Your memory is going to return.
That's one of them. So
Give me a memory versus the Browns.
I think the first one would be the punt return against the Browns. I was in New York playing for the Jets. It was my second year. My first year I was hurt. I had a knee injury before I even played the game. So it was really like my first year all over again. And to run that punt back at the time, it was like Bush Davis was the head coach for the Browns. This was his second year as the head coach because he came into the league with me. He left UM the same year that I left, the same year I got drafted, and he was the one that told me I should be a punt returner.
Okay.
So to have my first professional punt return, ran back on his team, I'm like, you can't write this thing up. You can't write this thing up no better than that, man.
That's a bad scout report.
I'm telling you, Bush definitely had them.
He was pissed.
He definitely had them ready for.
He was
for
pissed
Tanner,
off, man.
Man, come on, man.
I don't think he
kick to the
spoke.
man that you
I don't think he spoke to me. And then my other memory, I think, with the Browns, it's one of my fondest memories at which was FedEx. That's now Northwest Stadium. I forgot the guy's name, but he's a Miami native. I grew up watching him play cornerback. He's from the town that I told you about, from Overtown. And going into that week, I was kind of nervous of playing him because I remember him when I was young. Him in high school, he was like one of those dynamic guys. He can play. He can play offense. He can play defense. He quick. Forgot his name. I'm gonna think of. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay.
But he was sticking me. And don't get me wrong, I didn't care about him sticking me more so. I was more so like a fan of him. So I'm like, damn, I got this dude on me who I grew up liking.
Yeah.
And so, I want to shine. And I got a highlight on him, man, that I'll never forget. I caught this shallow cross from, I think it was Jason Campbell. Caught a shallow cross.
Corey Fuller?
Nah, I'm going to think of his name.
Okay.
It wasn't Corey. Corey's a Tallahassee guy.
Right.
I catch it. I'm up the right sideline by us on our sideline, and I spin and some kind of way get into the end zone still, and I did the little guitar thing. But it was one of my most fondest memories or highlights against the Browns, and I'm like, wow, here I am going into this game, almost like a fanboy of the guy who's going to be covering me from when I was a kid, looked up to him, and I had a good game against him.
Well, thinking about fans, London, we playing the Browns, and I know, being from East Cleveland, you get beat up in your neighborhood if you're not a Browns fan.
No, I beat people up that wasn't Browns fans. Man,
London said he the bully.
I beat one of my boys up. Yeah, but I digress.
Hey, what is it like, man, playing? What's your memory of your Browns, memory of your hometown team? What's going on with it? Like, tell me about that.
Shoot,
You grew up rooting for them. You had to, right?
I destroyed the Browns every time I played. Right?
I know, but what was that like? Because obviously,
it was. I knew everybody was watching that game back home.
Okay.
When I was playing for the Rams, Bills, Washington, they might not have seen all my games, been able to see all my games, especially because just it may not have been a national television game, but I knew all the fans were going to be watching that game. People I grew up with, they'll be watching to see what I did, and you know, they either gonna have. I'm gonna either have bragging rights, or they gonna have bragging rights
back in Cleveland,
man. So from the time the very first time I played the Browns back in '99, man, out there putting that hammer down. I remember.
I'm about to give y'all stats too against the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, it's too many. I put it.
But let me give you stats then.
Well,
it was too many. All right, London, 4 tackles for a loss, INT in your Browns career.
That's just one game.
Oh, man. Santana, 180 yards receiving, one receiving touchdown, and one return.
One return touchdown, yep.
Sean, 3 tackles for loss and a sack against the Browns.
Yeah,
So I think I played the Browns twice in my career, two or three times.
The game, you talking about 2008?
Yes.
Game, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I remember that game. That
Yeah.
was here in FedEx at that point in time. There's a sequence. We made a goal line stance.
Mm-hmm.
You were still here, yeah. Your boy, first down, they try to run the ball. Bam!
Remember.
Drop somebody. Second time, they try to run the ball. Bam! Drop somebody. Third time, they go play action pass, try to hit the fullback in the fat. I'm out there like a DB. Break that pass up.
I wasn't on there.
You was on one, huh? You was on one. Let me get that.
And the crowd is, we literally on like the 2-yard line.
We were coming out
the tunnel side.
Tunnel side. I remember that.
Oh, man. Then Zoe made a play.
Yep.
Lorenzo Alexander made a play on 4th down.
Right.
Man, you talk about.
Oh, we were hyped, bro. It was great.
Man.
I remember that.
Oh, man.
All right, switching gears a little bit. We're in Ohio, my second home. We're talking about the greatest athletes come out of the state of Ohio. We got to choose 3. I'm going to name a list, and this is part of the game. So I'm gonna name them, and you got to put your 3.
Yeah, okay.
So since we playing the Browns, we're going to give you this segment, right?
No, I'm just trying to tell you.
I want to talk about no Ohio,
Yeah,
no
that's right.
Ohio
We got to
greats.
choose 3 athletes.
Who care about them Ohio
Well, you
greats?
can't disrespect London Fletcher. London Fletcher's one.
We going 3?
You got to choose 3.
Okay, give me.
I'm gonna give you the names.
Okay.
We got London Fletcher, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Russell Wilson, Simone Biles, Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, Jack Nicholson, Kyle Schwarber, who was a left fielder for the Phillies and 4th overall pick. If you don't know who he is, Pete Rose and Charles Woodson.
Ooh. I didn't even know Simone Biles was from
Damn,
Ohio.
Pete Rose from up there?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Man,
man.
this
Woo.
I think our goats can go against anybody. Now that I think about it,
Nah, Mississippi's pretty good too. Walter Payton, Jerry Rice.
you just told me 2 people. You just named off about 20 from Ohio.
I'm just trying to tell you.
You ain't from Ohio though, right?
I'm from Virginia.
Okay, I know you be claiming Ohio all the time, so I just had to make sure.
All right.
Because I wasn't gonna put you on that list
All
if you would.
Who go? All right, Tanner, reveal yours. Tanner, you up first. Reveal. What Tanner got? Who you got?
LBJ.
Okay.
I gotta put LBJ 1. I mean, I don't think I don't think London would be
And
mad
that's
at
a
that.
particular-
How you gonna-
London number 2.
Yeah,
and C-Dub number 3.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay. What you got?
See,
them
no, yo,
my-
say me the last. Since I'm from
All right.
He ain't got you on his list. London.
Because I got to be true to sports.
Okay,
I got to be true to sports. I got Steph and LeBron. They won for basketball. Because I couldn't decide between LeBron and Steph. I love,
Love both.
I got to give a shout out to Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus is the greatest golfer. Like he
So
is
is he 2?
Now it ain't on a particular 1, 2, 3. It's just top 3. It ain't like no order.
Okay, no order.
Jack Nicklaus is considered the greatest golfer of all time. Okay. And then I had to go with Simone Biles. She's the greatest.
That's 4. So you got.
These are 1 though.
This is 1?
I can't pick between.
Let's see. Turn.
Jack
You
Nicklaus.
see him? That
I
just
know,
like
I wanted to
Bluefoot.
see it. Yeah,
That just like Bluefoot. You know what? You selfish dog. You
Debate with Steph Curry.
selfish
Hey,
dog.
listen,
You
so
can
I'ma-
lie to yourself sometime.
I'm gonna go.
You lie
my list.
all the time.
My
to
list. I'm
yourself.
gonna go Simone Biles.
No question.
She's the GOAT. She's the GOAT of gymnastics. What she just accomplished. LeBron James, LBJ, man. It's hard. It's hard.
Who is Big Fletch? I never heard of it. Big Fletch.
Yeah, I went into my alter ego.
Big Fletch. Big Fletch told y'all when he on that field, he Big Fletch. You know what I'm saying?
Big Fletch.
Big Fletch.
Oh man,
You know London. You met Big Fletch. I was just on the field. He was on the field.
When y'all talk about me,
But
this
yours
Big
come
Fletch.
out every second. You hear me?
Well,
Yours.
mine is not.
I really see his ego, man.
Hey, man.
Yours is like on on every minute, boy.
That's the other dude.
Yours is overwhelming
But
sometimes.
Hold on. There's one person I want to put on the list. Just give shout out, no disrespect, football. Desmond Howard and both my boys.
Oh yeah,
Desmond my boy.
yeah.
That was a tough one. Desmond Howard.
I mean, but we don't have to say sorry to them. This is a part. We just
that's my list.
This is our list, man. Them guys know they're great in their own way. I mean, one of them, a gold jacket.
Jack Nicklaus.
That's a tough one.
Me being a golfer now, what he was able to accomplish, it's hard for me. I can take Simone or LeBron. I ain't taking me off.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I be darned. I be darned. I be darned.
Folks out there, do not call him London Fletcher.
Big Fletch.
Big Fletch.
Big Fletch.
He's
Big
full-fledged
Fletch in the house.
Big Fletch.
By the way, Big Fletch is back. London Fletcher, we'll see him when he get off this set, but Big Fletch is back.
Man.
All right, man. Let's go. It's time to set the tone. Brought to you by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection. All right, fellas, time to talk a little Commanders defense, man. How has that defensive front stepped up in the absence of Cleveland Flero the past few weeks?
Well, I can tell you this, and I'm gonna jump ahead of y'all because y'all the defense gurus. But just from what I've seen, Jonathan and Payne both brought it this past week. And I think what stood out to me the most is just knowing, because I asked this to Armstrong, in our post game show about the game plan. Just knowing what Kyler did in the pocket.
Right.
He was a guy that's better outside the pocket. He wants to get out. He wants to run around. He dance around. He like a little inchworm. He like a little I called him a jackrabbit a little bit in a sense.
Yeah.
He likes to get out of there and do his thing. And I was like, what was the game plan? He was like, man, collapse the pocket, keep him inside, push the front side. And that's what those guys did. I think Jonathan did well up front. Payne has been playing like that. He's been getting close each and every week. But, it was, to me, I think, a first sighting for Jonathan. And to me, it almost led me to believe that probably the game 1 and game 2, he wasn't feeling himself, because I saw a different bounce in his step, this past week.
Well, we have 4 sacks against the Cardinals, and I think you're right. The guys stepped up to the challenge because, defense has been taking a lot of slack. They've been overshadowed by the play of the offense, but we've been giving up points and not getting off the field, and that's fair criticism. But the Tampa Bay game, they were all over Baker. They couldn't get him down.
Yeah,
they could not get him down. I thought they did
a
solid job against the Giants. But Cincinnati, they heard the noise. Yeah. They heard the noise. We giving up that points against Joe Burrow. And I was just impressed with the effort. Just the effort looked like, and maybe a little. Sometimes you got to hear a little criticism. Yeah, you got to hear a little disappointment from the fans for you to put in a little extra effort. But to be fair, they were close. But sometimes close ain't good enough.
Close ain't good enough. You got to seal the job, seal the deal, so to speak. I don't know how much not playing in the preseason impacted them in terms of just getting your sea legs. This was the 4th game.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to feel. You got your legs, you got your conditioning, you got your timing down. The frustration of not getting to Baker Mayfield in that first game. Yeah. Well, I'll say this: you felt their presence in that ball game, and not just in terms of getting to Kyler Murray and being able to sack him. There was also some plays down the field where you see Jonathan Allen running down the ball down the field, making plays and being around the tackle, and you see those types of things take place. So you love that part about him. Obviously, Dorrance Armstrong, he was able to do some things.
We've been waiting on that. London, you talked about that early in the year about we saw some flash what he could do at Dallas and how it was going to translate.
He had been getting close, though. He had been getting close.
He was able to impact the quarterback and make a couple get in on the sack and a half. I think the rookie John Baptiste.
Yeah, Baptiste.
Just the game against the Bengals.
Yeah,
he got a sack in that game. He also played well. The linebackers, man. We got to talk a little bit of linebackers.
Yeah,
we got so much linebackers, man. We got to get these two dudes, man.
Hey, let's talk about them because I damn sure want to talk about them.
Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, the 2 highest graded players on PFF this week after the Cardinals game. Louvu was all over that field, man. He was a head hunter.
Bro. Hey, dude. You know what? And when you talk about a dude, Frankie Louvu, we've been saying this from camp. I remember standing out there the first time. I was like, who is that?
I remember.
I said, who is that?
Right.
Now, Bobby, I know. Bobby led league the year before. Bobby's Mr. Consistent. He's a dog.
Yeah.
But Frankie LaVue is that leader, that defense, that energy. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time.
It's his tenacity to me.
Yeah,
I think it's just the way he plays it so violently. Like it's almost like watching the program. Yeah, you remember that movie, The Program?
A lot of bars.
You remember how that dude used to, I mean, that, like, like Lou blowing stuff up, and like even the script fumble he got and he recovered it.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's just like, bro, it's like I'm sure those guys like, bro, I don't want to get hit by him. Like he plays it with a different kind of energy, and it's great to see we have two guys we can rely on. You know, it was one thing having London, you know, for all those years. We was always trying to get another guy to step up and to kind of meet his energy. You know what I mean? Meet him at the door, because I think that would have made us that much more better in the second end.
I tell you what, just to kind of piggyback off what you said and to give you an insight, when you don't feel like you have other guys to help you bring that energy, when you're the one that has to do it all, it takes a wear and tear on you, it takes a lot out of you. But the fact that you have two guys, especially at that second level, and the defensive front, they'll do their things, and the back end do their things. But I've always felt that you have to have that a certain amount of leadership and passion and intensity from the linebacker level. Yeah. Because we're involved with stopping the run, we're involved with playing the pass, all the different things we're asked to do. And when you get that type of play from those guys, man, just Bobby Wagner, you all know how I feel about him. Yeah. His ability to there's a couple plays where the tackles that he make, I'm just like, man, how did this dude make this tackle, man? And you talking about a guy who I made my fair share of tackles, but there's some plays where he's able to get to a guy, slip a block, and still get in on tackle and things like that. And his presence and the ability, things that he brings to the table, man, they make a big difference, man.
And by the way, you said that with your chest a little bit. We stopped the run and the pass, but you looked at me. You looked at me like, let you like y'all the most valuable position on the field or something. You said it with your chest a little bit, but go ahead.
We know how you is.
No, the secondary is most important. But keep going. Go on, man.
You see, there you go. I knew we were gonna get a blue moment.
This one I want. This one I got to tell Smooth. It ain't about me, the DBs.
All right, man. Staying with that theme of defense, we'll talk about the Browns defense, man. Our run game.
Yep.
The Browns, they're giving up 123 yards rushing a game. Do y'all feel like we'll be able to continue to have success running the football? Right now, we are third in the NFL in rushing yards per game.
You know, I do, and I'll tell you why. This is one of the things I love about this league today, because people want to go out there and say they playing a college-style offense. Okay, maybe.
Running RPOs.
But when you have that many other things you do off your run, it opens the run up. You see what I'm saying? You spoke before I even got to it. The RPO game alone is going to have you sitting back thinking, and I'm going to either let it go or I'm going to keep it. Right. And then, not to say that, what I haven't seen yet, because like I say, I'm not sure if our coaches in college was ahead of their time. I mean, not in college, but in high school was ahead of their time. But we ran RPO when I didn't know what RPO was in high school. We ran the wing T. And sometimes we would do this.
Hand it off,
or he would keep it, and then we start realizing the receivers are wide open.
Right.
So let's show this motion, drop back and hit somebody on the deep post or a deep goal or something like that. So that's what we have to our leverage too when it comes to the run game. The run game now today has advanced so much more than it was back in the day when we first came to the league, because like you said, we can run the RPO off of. That's two guys you got to have accountable for, or we can slip screen it or find another way to run a different kind of screen off of all those different motions. So that's why I think that regardless of what you're doing defensively in the run game, as far as stopping the run, it's hard to stop what we do, because we have too many guys you have to hold accountable for being in action of that play.
Brian Robinson been just absolutely just baller, right?
Yeah,
he's a dude. Give him a shout out to him because we came on the show already. You would have to think after 4 games and seeing our offense, at some point they're gonna have to say, do we make them one-dimensional? Do we make them pass the ball, run the ball? So if I'm Cleveland after putting it on tape, because at first you think we don't know, it's a bland offense or it's a college offense, we don't know what to do. It's on tape now. So now it's going to be interesting to see after 4 weeks, is Cleveland going to line up with Newsome and Denzel and those guys and say, let's see if we can put a little pressure on a run game and force them to be a pass team and beat us in man coverage and rush. So it's going to be interesting. I think we continue to run the ball as a run scheme, but I also think that at this point in the season, teams are going to start saying, you can't have it both ways. Yeah. In London, we talk about that all the time. They start to scheme up for you now. What's your thoughts around that?
Well, then that's when the passing game comes alive.
Right, that's
also,
what I wonder.
Here's the thing, though. When you have the RPO,
man, as a man, you got to play man against it.
I get that, but you can't be right.
Can't be
especially
right,
as a linebacker.
Right.
You can't be right. Because if I tuck that ball in that running back's stomach and you come up,
he's in a
pull it and throw it to the tight end behind you or some other receiver, slot receiver, something like that.
Right.
If you don't respect me handing that ball, putting it in his stomach, and you stay back and pass, I'm going to just hand it off to him.
Yeah, hand it off to him.
And allow our offensive lineman, double team, combo block up to the linebackers. You're going to get movement. So it's hard to be right when you have that offense. And it's not just strictly a RPO game. They got these pin and pulls where they get outside. The tight ends done an excellent job blocking on the perimeter.
They have.
The offensive linemen have done a great job running out, getting out on the perimeter, making cornerbacks have to tackle.
Yes.
Making secondary players have to be able to fit the run properly and things like that. And you also still have the Jaden Daniels factor, his element.
Yeah.
And when he decides to run the football, so it's Cleveland, I think, coming into this ball game, they'll say, okay, let's put a concerted effort on stopping the run against Washington. See if our corners can hold up. See can they make plays in the pass game. But to be able to try to do this for 60 minutes, I think eventually it's gonna crack. The run game's gonna crack, and we're gonna get some gas plays. And B-Rob, man,
B-Rob makes you make business
B-Rob's his ability to get quote unquote skinny in a hole that's not for a big guy.
Yeah,
he's able to get through these little creases. Has great foot, body length.
I guess you didn't hear what Blue said. He makes you make business decisions.
But even
are you going to hit him at a corner?
But even before you even get to the business decision,
he got great vision.
His ability to get up to that level,
right?
Yeah, no, you don't want to tackle that dude.
he's making positive, gains when things are not positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's plenty of times where I saw him hit the back of two of his blockers, and I'm like, damn, he didn't get a yard yet. And before you know it, they were like, 2nd and 8. I'm like, well, he got 2 out of that. And then before you know it, the next play he getting 4 or 5 of them. So I do believe having a guy like B-Rob running the ball the way he does, and having a quarterback that we have, especially as he is with the ball, it's kind of hard for you to even it's kind of hard for you to sell out. You can't sell out for one or the other. And I mean, going into last week, that's what we thought. Arizona was going to do. Arizona was known for these exotic looks. We're going to bring pressure. Then Arizona say, no, we're going to rush 3 and make him sit back and cover and see if he can pick us apart. Wrong move. You shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? Now you got 2 guys. You got B-Rob out there establishing the run game. Then you go out there and get our 3rd string running back, which he deserved those carries, McNichols.
McNichols, who could be on the show later.
Yeah, so, we're going to have him on the show later. He deserved every bit of the carries he got from just what he did the week before in that last shot to Terry. He was the guy that was blocking for Jaden. He put his right L in a foot. He tore that linebacker up. You know what I'm saying? So
devastating.
You have so much going for you in that backfield. We get Austin Eckler back. Not sure to what capacity, but man, we have a great backfield. And I think when you have the kind of scheme, have the guys who scheme it up, Cliff, you have Anthony Lynn, in his run game scheme. I think you can't help but say this run game is going to be something that we can hang our hats on.
Yep. So, Blue, you mentioned the cornerbacks of the Cleveland Browns. Do you feel that Jaden Daniels and our wide receivers can continue to excel in the passing game against those guys?
Well, here's what I do know. One thing is they got a DN, so as a corner, you feel confidence when you got somebody who can get to the ball.
Yeah.
The big thing for Terry as our leading receiver, Denzel Ward feels very, very comfortable because they went against each other every day in practice. So we can't lose sight of a matchup like that.
Right.
And Denzel is arguably probably top 3 corners in the league.
I see him get burnt before though. So
yeah, but I'm just saying. But
ain't nothing new under the sun.
I'm just saying. But this question was, do you feel they feel comfortable like they can line up and?
So you think that they just gonna put him out there man on man and say you man up Terry?
Oh yeah, I think
that's not Deion didn't just man up everybody.
I'm not just saying they played a lot of man.
Yeah, I feel you, but I'm just saying you think
that's what they did last year.
The question was, do I feel like the Cleveland feel comfortable?
And they got a really good
they got secondary that might feel comfortable.
Which I do know. But I would say this, and I'm gonna say this because I want to get my little 2 cents in. Yes, they might feel comfortable with saying, you know what, we can man up Terry or whoever.
Denzel gonna match up.
But it's other guys. You got Zach Ertz. You got all these other guys. So I feel like other guys should be able to benefit off of that.
All right, man. We go. Man, this is great conversation.
Yeah.
But we gonna wrap this up, and when we come back after the break, we got the ice cold player.
To the 10, 5, goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
Into the end zone, Jeremy McNichols for his second touchdown today.
Welcome back to the Players Club. We're thrilled to have this week's guest. We got running back Jeremy McNichols.
Give a shout out. This is your ice cold player, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders.
We appreciate you joining us on the show.
Welcome.
I appreciate y'all. I used to watch y'all when growing up, so appreciate to be on the show. For sure.
Yeah, man. So we watched you the last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Do your thing, man. 69 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Named captain going into that game. What was it like for you to have the type of game that you had against the Cardinals?
I mean, it was amazing, man. We went into that week, we had to go grab 2 wins on the road, so it was huge. I had my family out there. I ain't seen them in a little while, so that was a little bit motivation on the West Coast. So it just felt good to just put on for the squad.
What has it been like, man? We've been hearing a lot about the culture that's trying to be built here, and you can almost see it just from every player, the way they go out there and represent, for the next man. You a guy that we saw you get in the game a week prior, made a key block on a touchdown by Terry. You're kind of slotted as the 3rd running back. This past weekend, you was number 2 up because of somebody went down, because Austin went down. But you couldn't tell me that you was a number 2 back from what I saw. To me, I feel like that's a part of the culture. That's what's being instilled in you guys. Talk to us about the culture here.
It's a brotherhood. It's more than a game. We hang out with each other outside of football, so it's not just about ball. We human too. We friends. We family. So on and off the field. So if that's my brother, I want to play hard for him. I want to see him. I want to see him win. I want to see him eat. I know he want to see me eat. So I think that's just the culture here. Just do your 1/11th on the field.
Yeah.
And then everything else gonna happen for you.
That's big time, man. Brotherhood is important, man. When you talk about brotherhood, we believe our running back room is probably one of the best in the league. Eckler, yourself, B-Rob putting up numbers. Coach Anthony Lynn, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it, man. Like, what does he mean? Because we talk about the players, but the staff is legit, brother.
Yeah, I mean, just having a coach that's done it before, that's played, it means a little bit more. When he tell you, hey, make this cut, he's done it before. So it's just like, okay, like he sees something I might not have seen on that play, and then he just wants us to go out there and win. He's done it for a long time. He was a head coach, so he has the respect around the league. He has the respect from us. So anything he says to us is just like, we're gonna listen and we're gonna go and we want to play for him. Most importantly.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
This your 7th season in the NFL, drafted in 2017 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you've had a kind of a long journey.
Yeah.
Playing for us, the Titans, the Colts. Had 2 stints with the Titans.
Yep.
Colts, 49ers, Jaguars. During that journey, man, going through the ups and downs of that, was there ever a time you just like, man, I don't know if I want to keep going through this?
Yeah. I mean, you getting cut, 10, 15 times. Like, I got in the doghouse a little bit, down.
Yeah.
But just being able to just have a good team around me, have good people around me, and just doing, the love of this game for me and this passion I had since a little boy, since I was about 8 years old, I wanted to do this. So, just making that little boy dream come true.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me that fight and that will to just keep going. People might not have believed or whatever it may, but I believed in myself more than anything. So that's what I hang my hat on. Do those dog days whenever those opportunities come, and that's why I play this game. I love this game.
Speaking of hanging your hat on something, before we got to see you get those carries this past weekend, we was talking about that excruciating block you had.
Oh
yeah.
Besides the block and the carry, now we saw you can run the ball, and bro, that second touchdown, that cut you made. I was trying to,
my knee sore.
You went up in that thing and gave that R2 to the right. He the bell anyway, right? Yeah. No, but just saying that, what I want to bring up is, what is something that you can say you hung your hat on, like as that you want to be recognized for? Your blocking, or which we see now, you can run that rock too. You took the pill.
I mean, since Pop Warner, my coach said, if you don't block, you're not getting the ball. You don't protect the quarterback, you ain't getting the ball. You know what I'm saying? So since Pop Warner, that's what it's been, and that's why I just hung my hat on. Even when I played wideout, like when it was a run play, I had to make sure I go block the linebacker, go block the safety, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then, then I could eat when I touch the ball. So
I like that mentality, bro, because people feel that, as players, there's certain players that feel like, well, I'm a running back. That's all I want to do. Right. But they don't understand, how important it is to be able to be that back that can protect the quarterback. Because third down, now you get more opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same how I had as a receiver. I saw plenty of receivers of my size or smaller or even bigger that wouldn't go in there and stick their head in there when the ball wasn't coming their way. Right. And they don't realize that will keep you on the team year 14, year 15. Mm-hmm. So, I tip my hat off to you for that, because that's not being selfish. Right. You're being selfless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And being around the league 7 years, you hear it, we hear it. Jaden Daniels, man.
Dog.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna describe. Like, so you've had a chance to play with veteran quarterbacks. Right. It's probably I'm assuming Jaden is the highest drafted young rookie quarterback you play with. Mm-hmm. What's your expectations? What do you see from him? Like, what is it like, man?
I mean, since day one, you just get that energy from him. Like, he a winner. He want to go out there and fight and win. He's here early, late. He knows all the whole playbook. He encourages us. Like, it's a guy you want to go out there and play for and play hard for. And I mean, you guys see what he's doing out there. Just going back. I've been watching him since he was in high school. Just being from Cali.
Oh yeah, you got both from Cali.
Yeah, so he was a little younger, but I kept up with him. I heard the buzz for a minute, and I mean, nothing really changed. He's out there still balling, and I'm just excited to see what he does the rest of this year and throughout his career.
Speaking of Jaden, I want to keep it on him. You talked about, you've been hearing about him from day one, from when he played ball in Cali. You came from San Fran last year?
Yeah, San Fran, yeah.
So you got a chance to see Brock.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just want to compare those two. Not far as play, just the youth of them. I mean, being able to play. Do you see a drop somewhere? Because I feel like all the buzz we've been hearing about Jaden here is this, how mature he is, the things he's doing to, staying in late, coming in early, staying late, just to make sure he has everything. To me, I think that's stuff that you hear about most veteran quarterbacks, the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Manning's. How you compare both of those guys when it comes to, what Brock did to be successful over there, with the 49ers, and what Jaden is doing now.
I think, like you said, it's the maturity thing. I mean, I forgot he was in year 2 last year. I didn't even know. Like, he's walking around like a year, year 10. Like, he's a captain. Mm-hmm. He controls the huddle. Same thing as Jaden. Like, I think his rookie year is done. Like, I feel like he on year, 3 or 4 right now. Like, he got the confidence, he got the maturity, even kill. Like, nothing's never too high, and those low moments. Yeah. That's really when you know who those players are, and those low moments, like, he even kill. He got that dog in his eye.
Nothing,
I remember, like, even on those 4th down calls or those 3rd down, he like, let's go. Like, let's go.
Yeah, we can see it
let's
on
go
the
for it. Like, you could just see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
And I looked, I'm like, okay, yeah, we about to go for it. We about to get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, you see 4th and 2, you know, most of the guys start charting off the field, but now he like, let's go get this.
You like what he say, coach. Let's do what he say.
You know, so that give everybody the confidence and just that energy just
that's dope,
the team,
man.
That's special.
All right, real quick. Speaking of dogs, you used to hoop. You played as Snoop Dogg. You started laughing. You already knew where I was going with that. You spit your pop water. You played in Snoop Dogg's youth football league growing up in Cali, Long Beach.
Yeah.
What was it like playing in that league with Snoop Dogg?
It was cool, man. Like, you got to see him. I mean, he's a legend everywhere.
Right,
you know, he's a worldwide legend. So just being able to see him and, you know, the people he bring around and just get those encouraging words. And then, you know, former guys would come around and talk to us and, you know, just be able to give us some, just get out the hood, man. Just be able to, like, give us some encouragement. You could see it. You know, you got a dream, but actually being able to see the guys and have this dream and know it could be
there. It's right there in front. I can touch it.
I could do that.
Right.
You know, just seeing the D-Jacks and stuff come back. Okay, I can
dope.
go do that. Like, you know, he came from the same city I came from, grew up the same, you know, similar ways, you know, just being able to have that tangible influence is huge.
All right, man. We appreciate you. So with all our guests we have on the Players Club, we asked them to sign this football, man. Yeah. We appreciate you joining us on the Players Club. You brought it on here like you brought it to that linebacker against the Cincinnati Bengals and also against the Arizona Cardinals. Look forward to watching you play some more the rest of this season.
Continued success.
Yeah, that's a wrap for the Players Club.
Y'all.
See you next week.